I mentioned this while I was doing the shirt, and I thought I'd go ahead and just add this quick video to the end while we're at it. There is a little bit of code that I've included in a note, I'll show you in a minute, that allows you to remove long flat triangles. And I got the idea from gerrymandering voting districts. One way mathematicians can tell if a district is probably gerrymandered is if it has a long perimeter and a very little area, so that it looks like it was adjusted to gerrymander. So I use this ratio of area to perimeter to determine if there's a long flat triangle somewhere or an ill-shaped triangle. So over in Houdini, the way this looks is this code right here. So we have a slider that determines the ratio threshold, which is, it can be a floating slider, somewhere around thousands. And we can measure the area from the primitive intrinsic and the measured perimeter from the primitive. So we just create a ratio from that, and if that ratio is greater than our ratio threshold, then it just removes the prim. So you can look inside the geometry spreadsheet and take a look at this ratio and see the values that kind of ascend and descend. So after about 2000, it kind of is fine, and then there's a few polygons here and it just kind of spikes up, and there's two really bad very thin triangles right here, so almost no area whatsoever. So if we go to our slider here and just move our slider, you can see kind of the effect that's going on. Let's go ahead and turn this on. So you can see the effect that's going on. What I want to do is maybe limit this to a group, maybe just the cuffs of the wrist to get rid of a triangle. So somewhere around 2900, it seems to be getting rid of that triangle down here at the bottom. And just to show you what I was talking about. So you can keep an eye on this little triangle right here. It just kind of disappears and kind of comes and goes right there. So if I limited this to just a group of prims, I could probably trim these off. But you'll notice here that it can sometimes have a side effect where this polygon just disappears too, and I wouldn't want that. Now the idea is I smoothed this beforehand so that I wouldn't have this weird crests and stuff that are causing this, so I could go all the way back up in my network and paint this, but this is just a side video. Also, I want to talk about the polydoctor node. The polydoctor node does have a visualize tab where you can start to see invalid points, any points that were repaired, invalid polygons or repaired polygons. I find this very useful, where you can see maybe these points were merged here, and up on the lapel you can see some points were merged up here. Anytime you get these really odd shapes, you get these fixes. So you can use both of these methods to improve and fix your mesh and make sure that you're troubleshooting your mesh. Okay, thanks.